especially offensively. Whether he can do the job defensively, I mean, that still remains to be seen. It's nothing that's just stone. We're not going to give him a job. But at the same time, this guy's proven offensive player, and we'll see how it goes. But I think it only helps us, and it'll increase some of the competition between the other folks that are out there trying to earn jobs, and that's Mayberry, it's Darren, it's Stick, it's Dominic. So we'll see how it goes.
Does it give you a little bit maybe more breathing room in developing some of these younger guys, you think?
I mean, development's important, but winning's more important. So, I mean, this is about trying to win. And it's about putting guys in a position to compete. They got to compete, and they have to perform to play on our club. And so, we'll kind of see who the best people are to help our club win the most games.
Do you anticipate maybe moving right now there are 6 outfielders. Do you anticipate maybe moving somebody or sitting down, or let it play out?
No, we'll just kind of let it play out. We'll give them opportunities in spring training. We'll go from there. They've all got, for the most part, other than maybe Mayberry, they've all got options. We'll let it play out.
Young comes with a little bit of baggage, I guess. What are your thoughts on what you went through last year?
Yeah, I mean, we went through the due diligence on the guy, and to be frank with you, I think that he's actually a pretty good makeup guy, and that's important to us. But made a mistake again last year, and hopefully he learns from it. Again, I think the incident was more a blip in the screen than it was what he's about, and hopefully he proves us right.
When push comes to shove, grade your off season and what you might have wanted to do coming in and what you've accomplished.
Well, I'm happy about some of the things that we've been able to do. I mean, we needed a center fielder. We wanted to add some depth to our bullpen, and we wanted to get a third baseman and add some depth to our outfield. So we did those things. How effective they'll end up being is proof is in the pudding, how they play. And so, and as I've said, I don't know how many times in this offseason, if the guys that we pay to play don't play, then we'll be in trouble. If they do, and we think that they're much healthier than they were coming into last spring, then we'll be okay.
Are you encouraged by what you're hearing about Chase's workouts down Florida?
Chase's and Ryan's and Chase and Roy's as well. They've all done very, very well this spring. I'm optimistic that they'll be fine and ready to go, but that still remains to be seen. Chase hasn't played a game in the spring training in 2 years. But he's done very, very well this offseason. He feels great, and now it's a matter of seeing what they can do during the course of the spring and just monitoring them during the spring. Roy just threw his first bullpen, went very well. He sounded encouraged by it. Talked to his Juby, he was down there to watch and witness. And KK, Kyle Kendrick did the same, and he did very well. So those are encouraging things. A lot of those things are. We'll find out how they progress during the spring. But so far the injury issues have, so far the news has been good on most fronts.
Not that you guys have had Gold Glove guys in the left field necessarily the last couple of years, but where do you think Delmon kind of fits in with that? Not a liability, but not a Gold Glover. Where does he?
Well, he's not going to play left field for us. His right field is really his natural position. He doesn't care to play left field. He's not a very good left fielder. And he's admittedly so. Our scouts don't like him in left field, so he's going to be playing right, which is where he was coming up in the Tampa Bay organization. Right field was really his natural position. He was moved there in Minnesota because Kadire was playing right. We're hopeful that he plays adequate right field. He always had a good arm. Whether he's continuing to do that remains to be seen. We'll see how he performs. He's going to be competing just like the rest of those guys. And there's nothing etched in stone, but he's going to be definitely competing in right field.
Will one of those 6 outfielders see time as a backup first baseman?
It's possible. I mean, it's possible that Darren can do it. The other guy that can play first base is Michael Young. Obviously, Mayberry can play first base, so we have some versatility, which is a good thing. I mean, we need that in the National League, and if something doesn't work out with Ryan, or if he gets hurt, I think we have some viable options at first base.
Delmon, I saw he possibly still battling injuries, so he could.
Yeah, no, he's still coming off a surgery, so he may not start the season on time. He may. We're not going to push it. We're going to make sure that he's 100% when it's time for him to play in Philadelphia. But they cleaned out his ankle. I think long term he should be fine. And obviously we went through the physical today with our doctors, and we think it's going to be all right. It wasn't something that I would think it was more something that he needed to do. Precautionary reasons. I mean, he did play the season out, but we'll be cautious with him and make sure that he's 100% when it's time to play.
How do you feel about the overall options you have in the bullpen? You have some experience, you have some young guys, you've made some acquisitions.
Yeah, I like our bullpen. I like the fact that we have some big young arms. If Adams comes back and pitches, anywhere close to what he's done over the last several years, been one of the best setup guys in the game. Started back with us and kind of puts him back in a position I think that takes a little bit of heat off him. Pitching one probably in the 7th and the 8th, and we've got Omont, DeFreitas, and guys that I think will really help us. A lot of it will depend on how they perform. These guys are all competing, but they got good arms. And Jeremy Horst came out and threw very, very well for us. People kind of lose sight of what he did. He did a nice job for us, and Valdez did a nice job. So there'll be some people competing for some spots, but I like the depth that we've got.
How much value do you put on having two lefties out there, Ruben? I know it's not a huge concern for you, but
I like to have 3 lefties if they're the best ones. We really wanted to put the balance on our bullpen, but if we have Bastardo and Diekman and others, getting opportunities, that's fine with me. We'll let the best players win. As far as I'm concerned, it's a good competition out there. Whoever pitches best, they'll be playing in Philadelphia. If they're not, they'll be probably playing in Lehigh Valley.
General managers, you're always tweaking, always doing things. Is it safe to say though that this off season you're pretty much done?
We got a couple other things we're still working on. I want to bring in maybe a little bit more catching depth. Right now, it's Kratz and Quintero and Leyrud are really the guys that have had any real major league experience in our camp. So we'll probably try to sign one more catcher. Now that Chooch is going to be out for the first month or so, so maybe add to that a little bit. Maybe doing some tweaking in our bullpen as well, but probably not. I think probably catching is. We'll look to see if there's other things that we can do, but that's probably where we stand right now.
Anything else as far as infield depth?
Yeah, we've talked about adding a little bit of infield depth. We have Andres Blanco may have injured himself, and so if that's the case, we may add another middle infielder to our to the spring camp. We have to find out more about him. We'll find out probably the next 3 or 4 days.
Is Galvis under consideration for the utility infield?
He sure is. Yeah.
Did adding Delmon change any plans for Ender Inciarte?
He's going to have to compete, and he's going to continue to have to compete. But he's also a guy who's going to be in the mix. We'll take a look at him and see what we got.
at what point do you think you're going to have a really good gauge on Chase? I know he kind of surprised you guys last year with what happened, and he hasn't played in the spring game in 2 years. When do you think you're going to, really hook for?
Well, I think probably sometime in the middle of the spring we'll have a pretty good idea how he's feeling. I think we're going to monitor how much he plays. We wanted to get his reps, but at the same time we don't want to work him to the point where it's counterintuitive.